Starodemski, and today I have in front of me a special treat. It's a beer from Sierra Nevada that's a limited edition. And anything, of course, from Sierra Nevada, you know that's going to be a good beer right off the top. This is their Hoptimum Whole Cone Imperial IPA. So what's an Imperial IPA, you ask? Okay, well, Imperial IPA is sort of an American notion. It's sort of like Imperial Stout, but with an IPA. You take a normal IPA, you throw some more malt at it and some more hops at it, and if you're lucky and you don't end up with a barley wine, then you might have an Imperial IPA. In any event, if anybody can do one of these, it's probably Sierra Nevada. They're one of America's classic large brewers, and they operate out of Chico, California. They long ago passed the microbrewery stage, and they're considered now a regional brewer. But they stick to their roots, and they make a lot of really original West Coast beers that usually accent hops, which is why I have a lot of enthusiasm and excitement about this particular beer. Whole cone, meaning that they're using whole hops instead of pellets. Talk to several different brewers, and they'll tell you different opinions on the merits of each. But in any event, this one is brewed with a veritable plethora of hops. They've got Magnums, Simcoes, Citras, and a few other varieties, including one that is a new proprietary variety, they're calling it. It's a big beer. It's about 10.4% alcohol by volume, and it's got this really neat label with what else but a hop head on it. I think the bottle is really cool too. If you look at it, it's sort of a big version of their stubby pale ale bottles that they use for their 12 ounces. I purchased mine. It was a little pricey. It was almost $11. I think I paid $10.98 for it at Total Wine, and that was about 2 months ago. It was the end of January of 2011, and I've had it for a couple of months. Hoppy beers, especially like this one. Again, there's a lot of hops in it. Hops are a preservative. These days, there's all this talk about hoppy beers needing to keep them refrigerated to make sure that that you get the maximum flavor out of them. And while that's true, any beer you probably want to store it in the best possible conditions. Hops are a preservative, and they're going to make the beer last longer. This one has 100 IBUs. That's a lot of bitterness. This is, again, a beer that I think if you were to see one on the shelf, as long as it wasn't sitting in 90-degree heat, a year from now, it probably would still be a good beer to pick up. So let's pop it open and see what it looks like. Of course, I have a Sierra Nevada glass for my Sierra Nevada beer. A lot of carbonation, very good head formation there. It's sort of a, looks like a russety orange amber color to me. Wow, and this beer is screaming hops already just from the nose. They're sort of grapefruity, a little herbal. Very flowery too. I'm getting a lot of flowery hop aroma from this. Sierra Nevada, they indicate on their website, they say that you'll get notes of rosemary and cedar. And maybe it's power suggestion, but I think I'm picking that up in the nose. We'll take a sip. It's not as big a beer as I thought it would be, especially with the alcohol content being as high as it is. There's a good bit of caramel maltiness that's common to an IPA. Certainly a big one like this would have more of that in abundance, but it's got almost a candy-ish type maltiness to it too. A little chewy, but not as chewy as I expected. Certainly not as thick and viscous as, say, a Bigfoot barley wine from the same brewery, which really is another hoppy beer too, and is also about 100 IBUs. So those hops come in. They're very herbal, lots of grapefruit, citrusy fruit flavors. They really hit you right after the caramel does, and then they intensify and into the finish, and they really explode with bitterness there. If you don't like bitter beers, this is not the one for you, because it's going to deposit a long, dry bitterness on your tongue, and you're going to know you drank a beer after you had a sip of this. Very, very fragrant, flowery hoppiness to it too. So it's got the aroma going on. It is dry hopped. It's got the intense hop bitterness. This is just, I think, really an amazing Imperial IPA, and it, for me, it passes the test of Imperial IPAs in that it still tastes like an IPA. The malt isn't so huge that, again, I think, you know, when you put too much malt and hops together, you start to get, it just starts to taste like a barley wine. And I was sort of, you know, wondering if how much this was going to taste like Bigfoot, but it really doesn't. It reminds me of a Sierra Nevada IPA, and they have a couple of them, but just a bigger, bolder version of that. So I think they've done a really good job. It's worth the $11, I'd say. Pick up a bottle, give it a try. Again, if you're a hophead, then this is probably something that you're really going to love, especially that bitterness in the finish is really intense. Let your bottle warm up. Don't drink it too cold. I let mine warm up to almost room temperature before I drank it, and you'll appreciate all those flavors even more. In any event, I hope you'll seek it out, and if you like it, or if you don't, drop me a line, brewguru@brewguru.com. Cheers.